Good evening, everyone. I hope all is well. This meeting of the Essex County Board of County Commissioners is hereby called to order. Due to the pandemic, this meeting is being conducted remotely. The public is able to view this meeting via live stream on Facebook and YouTube. A link for the live stream is posted on the Commissioner website. The public is able to participate and provide public comment via phone. To all participating in this meeting, please be mindful to put your microphone on mute until speaking. Additionally, please identify yourself by putting your name on the record each time before you speak. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Cooper? Absent. Commissioner Gill? Absent. Commissioner Graham?
Here.
Commissioner Johnson? Absent. Commissioner Luciano, absent. Commissioner Mercado?
Here.
Commissioner Sebo?
Johnson is here.
Oh, Commissioner Johnson is here. Commissioner Sebo?
Here.
Commissioner Vice President Pomares?
Here.
Commissioner President Richardson?
Here. We will omit the salute to the flag since we are conducting this meeting remotely. However, let us pause for a moment of silence for all of those who have perished from the pandemic. Thank you. I have before me certification from the clerk that this meeting is in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Madam Clerk, are there any transcripts to be approved?
Yes, Mr. President, we have two. Conference Board meeting, December the 15th, 2021, and reorganization meeting, January 5th, 2022.
Commissioners, any questions or comments? Hearing none, I have a motion from Commissioner Sebo and a second from Vice President Pomares to approve the transcripts. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Sebo?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercado?
Yes.
Commissioner Luciano, absent. Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
Commissioner Graham?
Yes.
Commissioner Gill, absent. Commissioner Cooper? Absent. Commissioner Vice President Pomares?
Yes.
Commissioner President Richardson?
Yes.
So moved.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Are there any topics of discussion?
Mr. President, there are none.
In that case, let's move to the public comment session. Today's meeting is a combined conference/board meeting, and we will vote on every item on the agenda. However, since we are meeting remotely, the public had the opportunity to submit questions and comments for consideration. They can also call in. At this portion of the meeting, the clerk will have additional instructions for our callers. Madam Clerk.
Okay. Constituents were given the opportunity to call in or send emails for public comment prior to the meeting. If you are calling in, you will be acknowledged in the order that your call was received. Emails received for public comment will be read after the calls are completed. At this time, our public information officer will announce the callers so they can state their comment or questions, and be reminded you have 3 minutes to speak. Please do not have your laptop or any electronic device on while calling in. At this time, we're accepting only calls pertaining to agenda items. Please note, you will have an opportunity to call back later in the meeting at the designated time for public comment session on non-agenda items. Chalo Malumba, Public Information Officer, please begin our public comment session now.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Chalo Malumba, Public Information Officer for the Essex County Board of Commissioners. We have a caller waiting to speak. The caller's name is David Weiner. Mr. Weiner, you have 3 minutes to speak. You may begin.
Good evening, Commissioner. My statement in question relates to resolution number 68 on the agenda, which proposes the award of a contract for services at no cost to exceed $89,300,000 to an engineering firm. The point of the payment is so that this firm They need the engineering services for remedial corrections at the county jail. I note that our union, CWA Local 1081, representing the non-supervisor employees of DFAB, Welfare, and TSU, have both pursued grievances against the county to protest the decided deficiencies of the HVAC system within both buildings. Our union hired an industrial hygienist to examine the HVAC system, only have the county administration denied the company access. We hired an attorney, spent 5 mediation sessions in Perk, and then we were allowed to have our people come in. The company found that the HVAC system automatically shuts down within areas of the buildings, thus denying employees there sufficient ventilation to avoid the contraction of COVID. To date, the county refused to replace the MERV 8 HVAC air filters with a minimum grade of MERV 13 to MERV 20s, despite the COVID virus. DFAB has experienced a number, 375 employees at least, who have contracted the virus to date out of 740 total employees, with 4 employees dying. That's 3 more deaths than any other county facility. My question I request of the freeholders respond to tonight is, how does this legislative body continue to approve a $90,000 contract with this environmental firm while they won't respond to our industrial hygienist's adverse findings regarding our agency's HVAC system? Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you. Our next caller is Charlene Morrison. Please state your name for the record. You have 3 minutes to speak. You may begin.
Yes, this is Charlene Morrison, and I work for the Essex County Division of Family Assistance and Benefits. My statement in question relates to Resolution 69 on tonight's agenda, which proposes to approve the Borough of Roseland seeking to post new signage regarding the truck and weight restrictions due to complaints of truck traffic on local residential streets. It has come to our attention of both our union in the county that will be building an 8-story building smack dab wherein DFAB service parking lot is now located, wherein scores of vehicles owned by DFAB employees, including the disabled, have been parking since we were assigned to the county-owned 320-321 University Avenue in North. Our service parking lot will have deep underground upon the 8-story building will be erected. And every workday, scores of judges and staff, police vehicles, defendants, and their attorneys will be entering and leaving the building to be built directly across the street from DFAB University structures. This will add both danger and further congestion to the corners of University Avenue and Branford Place, wherein at least 6 pedestrian accidents have been reported, and wherein DFAB employees now wait for up to an hour to end of day. My question, I request the Commissioner's response, is to how does this legislative body continue to approve the Borough of Roseland seeking post new signage regarding the truck weight restrictions due to complaints of truck traffic on local residential streets, while at the same time depriving DFAB employees of hundreds of parking places, exceptionally worsening traffic within the university complex? Where are the displaced DFAB employees supposed to park their vehicles when construction 8-story courts begin? Thank you, and have a good evening.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, we do not have any more callers waiting to speak.
Okay, we have several comments sent in via email. And the first is Hamesh Shah, no address given. And these are regarding resolutions 60, 65, 67, and 69. Please time. Good evening, Essex County Commissioners. My name is Hamesh Shah, and I work for the Essex County Division of Family Assistance Benefits, DFAB. My statement in question relates to resolution number 60 on tonight's agenda, which asserts that the county should award a contract at a cost not to exceed $440,330 to GSP Properties LLC to provide for maintenance, restoration of customized and engraved painted signs in various parks throughout the Essex County. The services for the Department of Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Affairs. My question I request the commissioners respond to is how does this legislative body continue to allow the administration to award a contract at the cost not to exceed $440,330 to GSP Properties, LLC, to provide for maintenance and restoration of customized and engraved painted signs when the county has refused to compel the administration to demand quality service from various vendors. The county allegedly spent $15 million to rehabilitate DFAB University Avenue buildings. Numerous flaws such as its still antiquated and inefficient HVAC system. Regarding resolution number 65 on tonight's agenda, which asserts that at their January 2022 meeting, the Essex County Recreation and Open Space Trust Fund Advisory Board approved the allocation of Open Space Trust Fund money in the amount not to exceed $285,000 for golf course architecture consulting services for Essex County golf course renovation projects. My question I request the commissioners to respond to is how does this legislative body continue to allow the administration to spend $285,000 for golf course architecture consulting services for the Essex County golf course renovation projects when there's no resolutions put forward by the administration that Essex County commissioners seeking to replace 100 of parking spaces DFAB will lose for its employees when the 22-story court building is constructed. Resolution regarding number 67 on tonight's agenda, which asserts that the Essex County Department of Public Works has determined that the winning bidding company vendor has met requirements of the advertised specifications, is the lowest and responsible bidder to provide the roof replacement at Essex County Environmental Center as specifications. This contract shall not exceed $325,711. My question, I request the commissioners respond to this is how does this legislative body continue to approve $323,000 contract award with Frank Cyrus Incorporated to provide proof of the Essex County Environmental Center roof when no resolutions put forward by the administration of Essex County to the commissioners seek to replace hundreds of parking spaces DFAB will lose for its employees when the 8-story, 22-story court building is constructed. Time is up. The rest of this email will be recorded into the record at a later time. Okay, the next is from Barbara O'Halloran, no address given, regarding Resolution 60. My name is Barbara O'Halloran. I work for Essex County Division Family Assistance and Benefits, DFAB. My statement and questions relates to Resolution 60 on tonight's agenda, which asserts that the county should award a contract of a cost not to exceed $440,330 to GSP Properties, LLC, to provide for maintenance and restoration of customized and engraved painted signs in various parks throughout Essex County. These services for the Departments of Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Affairs. My question I request the commissioners to respond to is how does this legislative body continue to allow administration to award a contract at the cost not to exceed $440,330 to GSP Properties, LLC, to provide for the maintenance and restoration of customized and engraved painted signs when the county has refused to compel the administration to demand quality services from the various vendors that the county allegedly spent $15 million to rehabilitate DFAB's University Avenue buildings, numerous flaws such as its antiquated and inefficient HVAC system. And the final comment is by Clarabelle Kezuza. No address given. My name is Clarabelle at KBC-2BL, and I work for the Essex County Division of Family Assistance and Benefits, DFAB. My statement and question relates to resolution number 65 on tonight's agenda, which asserts that at their January 20th, 2022 meeting, the Essex County Recreation Open Space Trust Fund Advisory Board approved the allocation of Open Space Trust Fund money in an amount not to exceed $285,000 for golf course architecture consulting fees for Essex County golf course renovation projects. My question I request the commissioners to respond to is how does this legislative body continue to allow the administration to spend $285,000 for golf course architecture consulting services for Essex County golf course renovation projects when there are no resolutions put forward by the administration of Essex County Commissioners seeking to replace hundreds of parking spaces DFAB will lose for its employees when the 8-story, 22-story courts building is constructed. And a similar email regarding resolution number 65 expressing the open space trust fund money being used for golf course repairs as opposed to addressing the lack of parking spaces for DFAB employees was also submitted by Barbara O'Halloran and will be read into the record in its entirety at a later date. And Mr. President, those include all the public comments received by email.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. Let's make sure that these questions are answered in a timely fashion and they get to who they need to get to in order to be answered in writing. Thank you.
Will do, Mr. President.
Madam Clerk, let's move to ordinance. Do we have any ordinance or resolutions, introduction and first reading?
Yes, Mr. President, we have one.
Okay, Madam Clerk, let's read it into the record at a later time. Mr. Jackson.
Thank you, Mr. President. Treasurer Mohammed will address this item.
Good evening, Hussam Mohammed, County Treasurer. This ordinance is for appropriating amount of $6 million from unexpended balances of county college ordinances. That these balances no longer needed. This appropriated to be used for the new academic building for the West Essex campus for the new county college in West Essex. And I'm here for any questions.
Oh, Mr. McInerney, sorry.
Mr. President, these are previously authorized capital ordinances. As was just stated, there's no additional authorizations, there are no additional funding. These funds are on hand. They're a requisition for other capital improvements at the college, no longer deemed necessary or completed and fulfilled. The excess now being used for the purposes which were just stated.
Mr. Paulovecchio.
I don't have any additional questions.
Commissioners. Any questions or comments?
I could also see them jumping on the two public.
I can hear you too. Okay, I have a motion from Commissioner Mercado and a second from Commissioner Johnson to take ordinance 1. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Okay, Commissioner Cooper,
Yes.
Commissioner Gill, absent. Commissioner Graham,
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Luciano, absent. Commissioner Mercado,
Yes.
Commissioner Sebel, absent. Commissioner Vice President Pomares,
Yes.
Commissioner President Richardson.
Yes.
So moved. And as you heard and saw, Mr. President, but for the record, Commissioner Cooper has joined the meeting.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Do we have any, Madam Clerk, do we have any ordinance or resolution for listing purposes only?
Mr. President, no, we have none.
Madam Clerk, do we have ordinances or resolutions on second reading and public hearing tonight?
Yes, Mr. President, we have two. We have ordinance number O-2022-0001. That's 4 zeros, and ordinance number O-2022-00002.
Okay, Madam Clerk, let's move to ordinance number O-2022-00001 and read it into the record at a later time. I do hereby declare the public hearing on ordinance O-2022-00001 open. If there is any member of the public who emailed comments for or against this ordinance, we will read them comments into the record and respond to you in writing. Or if there are any callers in the queue. Madam Clerk.
Mr. President, we have no callers in the queue.
Thank you. Mr. McInerney.
I have no questions on this, Mr. President.
Mr. Polavecchio.
No, Mr. President, it was fully discussed on first reading at the prior meeting.
Commissioners, any questions or comments? Hearing none, I have a motion from Commissioner Cooper, from Commissioner Graham, and a second from Commissioner Cooper to close the public hearing on ordinance O-2022-00001. Do I have the same mover and second to approve the ordinance?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Siebel, absent. Commissioner Mercado.
Yes.
Commissioner Luciano, absent. Commissioner Johnson.
Yes.
Commissioner Graham.
Yes.
Commissioner Gill, absent. Commissioner Cooper.
Yes.
Commissioner Vice President Pomares.
Yes.
Commissioner President Richardson.
Yes.
So moved.
Okay, Madam Clerk, let's move to ordinance O-2022-00002 and read it into the record at a later time. I hereby declare the public hearing on ordinance O-2022-00002 open. If there is any member of the public who emailed comments for or against this ordinance, we will read the comments into the record and respond to you in writing. Or if there are any callers in the queue. Madam Clerk.
Mr. President, there are no callers in the queue.
Thank you. Mr. McInerney.
I have no questions.
Mr. Polavecchio.
I don't have any questions.
Commissioners, questions or comments? Hearing none, okay. I have a motion from Commissioner Graham, from Commissioner Cooper, and a second from Commissioner Graham to close public hearing on ordinance O-2022-00002. Do I have the same mover and second to approve the ordinance?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Cooper.
Yes.
Commissioner Gill, absent. Commissioner Graham.
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson.
Yes.
Commissioner Luciano, absent. Commissioner Mercado.
Yes.
Commissioner Siebel.
Yes.
Commissioner Vice President Pomares.
Yes.
Commissioner President Richardson.
Yes.
So moved.
Okay, Madam Clerk, we will now move to resolutions number 1 through 35, which are advised and consent reappointments. Resolutions number 1 through 4 are the Essex County Utilities Authority. Resolutions 5 through 10 are the Planning Board. Resolutions 11 through 15 are the LGBTQ Advisory Board. Resolutions 16 through 20 are the Environmental Commission. Resolutions 21 through 23 are the Correctional Facility Civilian Task Force. Resolutions 24 through 34 are the Advisory on the Aging, and Resolution 35 is from OEM Coordinator, and we'll read them into the record at a later time. Mr. Jackson.
Thank you, Mr. President. The county executive is pleased to nominate these individuals and citizens for reappointment, and would hope that the board would feel likewise and approve them for more terms.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Mr. Polavecchio.
So, Mr. President, as you said, they're all reappointments, and these individuals have been before this board on their initial appointments.
Thank you. Mr. McInerney.
No questions.
Commissioner Siebel.
Thank you, Mr. President. First of all, I know so many of the people who are being reappointed, and I am really delighted that all of them are so willing to spend their time and energy on behalf of Essex County. They are really terrific people, and I am so pleased to be able to vote to have them continue to be of service to the constituents of Essex County. And although I'm not naming names, as I said before, I know so many of them personally, and they are great people, and I am really happy they're willing to continue to serve. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Commissioner. Very well said. Any other questions or comments?
Mr. President,
Commissioner Cooper.
I want to echo Commissioner Sebold's comments as well. So many of them are wonderful, extraordinary people. To volunteer their time and serve the county of Essex is tremendous. So I thank them for stepping up to do that. I just have one quick question. Since we previously saw all of these people and they're all reappointments, do we have to go through them all individually? Or can we move all at one time?
So let me help you out. We're not
Okay,
going to go through them. We're going to take them all collectively
okay.
because they are reappointments.
That's exactly what I was asking. So thank you so very much and congratulations to everybody on their reappointment.
Thank you. I have a motion from Commissioner Johnson and a second from Commissioner Mercado to take resolutions 1 through 35 as one. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Sebold,
Yes.
Commissioner Mercado,
Yes.
Commissioner Luciano absent, Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Graham,
Yes.
Commissioner Gill absent, Commissioner Cooper,
Yes.
Commissioner Vice President Pomares,
Yes.
Commissioner President Richardson.
Yes.
So moved.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Let's move to resolutions 36 through 40, which are temporary emergency appropriations from various state and local agencies. And please read them into the record at a later time. Mr. Jackson.
Thank you, sir. Item 36 is a temporary appropriation for the LIHEAP program, Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program, in the amount of $52,288. This is money that we receive from the state of New Jersey to help support our efforts to work with the La Casa de Don Pedro, who is the primary facilitator of this program, and this is the state's supporting of us to help them. Item 37 in the amount of $12,971 is a grant from the New Jersey Department of Labor to our Department of Economic Development, Training and Employment that allows workforce board members to access the system that's used to track employment data and performance data of the programs that we offer. This is from July 1, 2021 through June 30, 2022. And there is no match, and I should say there was no match for item 36 either. Item 38 is a operational subsidy award from the New Jersey Zoological Society for turtleback zoo operations. This money in the amount of $450,000 will go towards supporting the operations at Turtleback Zoo, and it supports vendor payments for goods and services. Item 39 is a temporary appropriation also from the Zoological Society of New Jersey in the amount of $300,000. This is what will go toward the enhancement fund, which supports maintenance and capital improvements at the South Mountain Recreational Complex. No county match, and these funds will go toward our enhancement fund efforts. And item 40 is in the amount of $5,148. This comes from the Office of New Jersey Attorney General. This will to the prosecutor's office and will provide for approximately 5 new vests for that department. And that's the temporary appropriations.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jackson. Mr. Paulavecchio.
I don't have any questions.
Mr. McInerney?
No questions. I did have a question on Resolution 38, which the administration did call on and provided for me. Appreciate that.
Thank you. Commissioners, questions or comments? Hearing none, I have a motion from Commissioner Vice President Pomaris and a second from Commissioner Sebo to take resolutions 36 through 40 as one. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Cooper,
Yes.
Commissioner Gill, absent. Commissioner Graham,
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Luciano, absent. Commissioner Mercado,
Yes.
Commissioner Sebo,
Yes.
Commissioner Vice President Pomares,
Yes.
Commissioner President Richardson.
Yes.
So moved.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Let's move to resolutions 41 through 54, which are from the Office of the County Council. Please read them into the record at a later time. Mr. Jackson.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Gassion will handle these items.
Thank you. Good evening, Courtney Gassion, Essex County Council. The resolutions number 42 through 50, through 54 deal with professional services contracts for the representation of the County of Essex in various legal matters. First resolution, number 41, is a professional services agreement to provide legal services with the law firm of Corella, Byrne, Chechi, Olstein, Brody, and Agnello. This is a contingency contract. There is no cost to the County of Essex. It is for the period of January 1, 2022 through December 31st, 2022, and it is in connection with a class action litigation brought against the manufacturers of opioid medications and their intermediaries. We have discussed this matter before. This is a multi-district litigation that the county has joined in with, along with other public entities, against opioid manufacturers as a result of the high number of deaths and illnesses related to opioid addiction. Item number 42 is a professional services agreement with the law firm of Chiesa, Shaninen, John Tomasi, in the amount not to exceed $60,000 for the same period, January 1 through December 31st, 2022. This is an outside counsel contract to deal with any open real estate development matters. This law firm is utilized in real estate transactions, including the purchase and sale of county-related property. Number 43 is a professional services agreement with the law firm of Chiesa, Shaninen, and John Tomasi in the amount not to exceed $100,000. This is in a litigation entitled Shea Carr versus County of Essex. This is an employment-related litigation against the Essex County Sheriff's Department for the period of January 1 through December 31st, 2022. And as I indicated, in an amount not to exceed $100,000.
Mr. President, may I ask the question on
Commissioner Johnson. Yes, sir.
Yes, Mrs. Cassion.
Yes.
That situation has been going on for some years now, hasn't it?
Through you, Mr. President, Courtney Gassion, Essex County Council. The Shea Carr matter was filed in 2021, so it is not that old of a case.
Okay. Are we making progress with that, or are we still at a stalemate?
It's not that it's so much at a stalemate. It is in the early stages of litigation. So discovery has not been completed. Written discovery has just about been completed, but depositions have not begun yet. So it is still in the early stages of litigation.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Resolution number 44, professional services agreement with outside counsel, the law firm of Connell Foley for the period of January 1 through December 31st, 2022, in an amount not to exceed $75,000. This is for the firm to provide various legal representation on contract issues, included but not limited to threatened litigation related to purchasing, bidding, and our contracts to perform large construction contracts. This is a contract that we have come before the board with for multiple years. It's been in the same amount each year, and the firm provides us, as I said, representation in issues related to our construction contracts. Number 45 is a professional services agreement with regard to the law firm Genova Burns to provide labor and employment law representation on various matters. This is an amount not to exceed $200,000 for January 1 through December 31st, 2022. Genova Burns has been our labor counsel for many years. The contract amount has remained the same over the course of that time. 46 is a professional services agreement to provide legal services regarding the litigation of Abdul Ahad versus the Essex County Sheriff's Office. This contract is with the law firm of Inglesino, Webster, Wycasala, and Taylor in an amount not to exceed $100,000. This contract specifically is for the firm's representation of individual detectives out of the Essex County Sheriff's Office in this litigation. Resolution number 47 is a contract with the law firm of Inglesino, Webster, Wycasala, and Taylor in an amount not to exceed $100,000. This is for representation in the litigation entitled Tariq Branch versus Julian Lolang et al. The county is listed as a defendant in this matter. It is a personal injury case. The county is represented by the firm, specifically Department of Public Works and the Department of Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Affairs. This contract is also for January 1 through December 31st, 2022. Resolution number 48 is a professional services agreement to provide legal services for the county at civil commitment hearings, including guardianship at the Essex County Hospital Center. This is for the period of January through December 31st, 2022, with the law firm of Inglesino, Webster, Wycasala, and Taylor in an amount not to exceed $17,000. These are commitment hearings that are held twice a month. Our office requires assistance just due to staffing issues to cover these hearings bi-monthly for the commitment hearings that take place at the hospital center in Cedar Grove. Item number 49 is this professional services agreement, also with the law firm of Inglesino, Webster, Wycasala, and Taylor in an amount not to exceed $10,000. This is a case that's approximately 1 year old, involving a litigated matter on surrounding commitment hearings and outstanding discovery. This matter is just about resolved, and there's a few remaining items that just need to be finished up by the law firm. Hence the amount of $10,000 to allow them to finish up what needs to be done on this litigation during 2022. I do not anticipate that this contract will be renewed. Number 50 is a professional services agreement to provide legal services regarding the matter of Muhammad Mousli versus the County of Essex with the law firm of Inglesino, Webster, Wycasala, and Taylor in an amount not to exceed $100,000. This is also for the period of January 1 through December 31st, 2022. And this is a matter involving evidence that was destroyed by the Essex County Prosecutor's Office. Number 51, Office of County Counsel is a professional services agreement regarding the collection of unpaid fines and penalties for various environmental violations imposed by the county's Department of Health and its authorized subcontractor agencies. This contract is with the law firm of Pyro Zinner, Cefelli, Paris, and John Tento. January 1, 2022 through December 31st, 2022. This is a contingency contract. There is no cost to the county. The law firm collects a percentage of all fees that they collect through the violations that are imposed. Item number 52 is a professional services agreement to provide legal services in the amount of Abdul Ahad. This is an outside counsel contract with the law firm of Vernone, Coughlin, and Minicello in an amount not to exceed $100,000 for January 1 through December 31st, 2022. This is the related companion matter to the earlier case where individual officers are being represented by one law firm. This is the second law firm that's been retained in this case to represent the Essex County Sheriff's Office. Item number 53 is a professional services agreement to provide legal services regarding the matter of Todd and Rosalie Hines versus Carolyn Murray et al. This is an employment-related litigation against the Essex County Prosecutor's Office. It is a contract with the firm of Lum, Drasko, and Positan in the amount not to exceed $50,000 for January 1 through December 31st, 2022. I do expect this case to be concluded this year. Item number 54, professional services agreement to provide special outside counsel on domestic violence custody hearings. This is a contract with the law firm of Maritza Rodriguez Esquire for January 1 through December 31st, 2022, in an amount not to exceed $17,000. Ms. Rodriguez provides representation of the Essex County Counsel's Office in domestic violence custody hearings as a result of a conflict of interest that this office has with the Essex County Prosecutor's Office, given that we defend them in other unrelated litigations. That's the end of my resolutions. I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Mr. Polavecchio.
Yes, Mr. President, given the number of claims that come into the county during a given year, this is still a relatively very low number of cases that have been assigned to outside counsel. So Ms. Gassion's office and the deputy county counsels are really handling the bulk of the work. So she's kept a lid on the number of outside contracts, and these are the ones that you have before you now.
Thank you. Mr. McInerney.
No questions.
Commissioners, questions or comments?
Mr. President,
Commissioner Sebo.
thank you. I would agree with everything that our attorney, Michael Parlavecchio, said, because I can remember the days when we had so many outside lawsuits and we had to hire so many firms compared to what we've had in the past. This is really relatively minor. So I must really congratulate Courtney Gassion on the great work she and her department are conducting. Thank you, Courtney.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Commissioner.
All righty then. Any other questions or comments, commissioners? Hearing none, I have a motion from Commissioner Sebo and a second from Commissioner Vice President Amaris to take resolutions 41 through 54 as one. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Sebo,
Yes.
Commissioner Mercado,
Yes.
Commissioner Luciano absent, Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Graham,
Yes.
Commissioner Gill absent, Commissioner Cooper, absent, Commissioner Vice President Pomares,
Yes.
Commissioner President Richardson.
Yes.
So moved.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Let's move to resolution number 55, which is from the Board of Elections. Read it into the record at a later time. Mr. Jackson.
Thank you, sir. Deputy County Administrator Jay Poultry will handle 55 and 56.
Mr. President, this is a professional service agreement to provide mapping services for the Essex County Board of Elections and county election commissioners, not the commissioners that are here today. Remington and Vernick, amount not to exceed $109,681. The mapping will be redistricting for county commissioners in various wards throughout the county and districts as in district leader per the elections. Number 56 is the superintendent.
They're separate, so we're going to do them one at a time.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Polavecchio.
I don't have any questions.
Mr. McInerney.
No questions, Mr. President.
Commissioners. I have a motion from Commissioner Mercado and a second from Commissioner Johnson. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Cooper,
Yes.
Commissioner Gill absent, Commissioner Graham,
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Luciano absent, Commissioner Mercado,
Yes.
Commissioner Siebel,
Yes.
Commissioner Vice President Pomares,
Yes.
Commissioner President Richardson.
Yes.
So moved.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Please be reminded, we will conduct a public comment session for the non-agenda items at the end of the meeting for any other call-ins. Clerk, can you give them the call-in information?
Yes, Mr. President. If you are calling in, the number is 855-756-7520 and use the passcode 78872#. After entering the password, listen for the prompt to press 0 to be placed in the queue to speak during the meeting.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Let's move to Resolution 56, which is from the Superintendent of Elections, Commissioner of Registration. Please read it into the record at a later time. Mr. Jackson.
Mr. President, this is a contract award to Royal Printing Services not to exceed $300,000. It was publicly advertised, fair and open RFP. They are for poll books, instructions, voter acknowledgement and verification cards for various elections. And this particular year, we have Board of Education, City of Newark elections, and other elections coming through that historically don't happen annually.
Thank you. Mr. Polavecchio.
No questions.
Mr. McInerney.
No questions.
Commissioners, questions or comments? Hearing none. I have a motion from Commissioner Graham and a second from Commissioner Cooper. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Siebel,
Yes.
Commissioner Mercado,
Yes.
Commissioner Luciano, absent Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Graham,
Yes.
Commissioner Gill, absent Commissioner Cooper,
Yes.
Commissioner Vice President Pomares,
Yes.
Commissioner President Richardson.
Yes.
So
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Let's move to Resolution number 57, which is from the Division of the Hospital Center. We will read it into the record at a later time. Mr. Jackson.
Thank you. Mr. Del Gaudio will address this item, Mr. President.
Good evening, Commissioners. Frank Del Gaudio, Director, Health and Rehab, Essex County. Resolution 57 is an annual non-fair and open request for your approval for inpatient, outpatient, and laboratory services with Robert Wood Johnson Barnabas Health. This resolution is if a patient needs inpatient care that can't be provided by the Essex County Hospital Center, they'd be transported to the emergency room, which allows this agreement covers all of the costs that the hospital is then responsible for. It also provides us access to the network, the entire Robert Wood Johnson Barnabas Health network of providers where we send our patients for consultative examinations and follow-up treatments. The laboratory portion, which is new this year, was due to not being able to have any vendors that would be willing to serve our account. And this is a casualty of COVID, unfortunately. The previous vendor pulled out of the contract when they had a 2-year renewal pending. That's a brief overview of what the request for this approval is all about.
Thank you, Mr. Del Gaudio. Mr. Polavecchio.
I don't have any questions.
Mr. McInerney.
No questions.
Commissioners, questions or comments? Hearing none, I have a motion from Commissioner Cooper and a second from Commissioner Graham. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Siebel,
Yes.
Commissioner Mercado,
Yes.
Commissioner Luciano, absent Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Graham,
Yes.
Commissioner Gill, absent Commissioner Cooper,
Yes.
Commissioner Vice President Pomares,
Yes.
Commissioner President Richardson.
Yes.
So moved.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Let's move to Resolution number 58, which is from the Department of Citizen Services, Division of Youth Services, and we will read it into the record at a later time. Mr. Jackson.
Thank you, Mr. President. Back on March 10th of 2021, the board awarded a $55,000 contract to the Cope Center. Since that time, Cope has merged with Oaks Integrated Care, and this essentially housekeeping resolution would allow the grant to move from Cope under the name of Cope to the name of Oaks Integrated Care. And for this grant, there was no county match.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Mr. Paulavecchio.
I don't have any additional questions.
Mr. McInerney.
No questions.
Commissioners, questions or comments? Hearing none, I have a motion from Commissioner Johnson and a second from Commissioner Mercado. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Cooper,
Yes.
Commissioner Gill, absent Commissioner Graham,
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Luciano, absent Commissioner Mercado,
Yes.
Commissioner Siebel,
Yes.
Commissioner Vice President Pomares,
Yes.
Commissioner President Richardson.
Yes.
So moved.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Let's move to resolutions 59 through 66, which are from the Department of Parks, and we will read them into the record at a later time. Mr. Jackson.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Zates will handle these items.
Joshua Zates, Essex County Parks. Number 59 is a 24-month extension with traffic safety services to furnish and deliver portable diesel lighting towers. These are specifically the lighting towers that the department uses for various events, be it holiday lights, Halloween events, or concerts. Number 60 is a contract award with GSP Properties to provide maintenance and restoration of customized and engraved signs in the amount not to exceed $440,330. These are for the decorative signs you see throughout the park system. They are placed typically in the entrances to the various parks. And this is to maintain those as well. If we're looking to add any new ones, this contract would cover that as well. Number 61 is a contract award to Sugar Property Services to provide landscape maintenance services at the Turtleback Zoo, amount not to exceed $317,300. This is a contract for landscape maintenance services over at the zoo. Although it is 24 months in length, the actual terms of service of this contract are 18 months. It would be through April of December this year and next at a cost of $14,850 per month, which gives you a fixed cost of $267,300, and there is a $50,000 allowance. And we do have a representative from Sugar on the phone if you have any questions. Perhaps they're having some technical difficulties. I will move on, and if the representative from Sugar is available, he will chime in.
Yes, good evening. This is Clarence Sconyers from the Sugar Group, Sugar Property Services, project manager. We are happy to perform this work for the county. We have done this maintenance contract in the past at the zoo back when it was a portion of the South Mountain Complex landscaping work. Just to give you an idea about the Sugar Group, we've done work for the county for over the past 20 years, different construction projects, landscape work, street removal, snow removal at different governmental facilities. Not only are we located in East Orange, which is in Essex County, our full staff of roughly 110 employees, 75% of them are Essex County residents, and the workforce that we utilize to perform this landscaping work, 85% of them are Essex County residents.
Thank you very much.
Joshua Z.
Thank you.
Joshua Z. Essex County Parks. Number 62 is a contract award with Green Valley Landscape and Design for park landscape maintenance at Kipps Castle and Grass Park. This is exercising the 24-month option, not to exceed $42,724.80. Again, this is for Kips and Graz. Graz is that little triangular park, kind of on the corner of Bloomfield Avenue when you're heading up to Verona, border Montclair. The monthly amount is $1,780.20. Number 63 is a 24-month contract extension with Green Valley Landscape Design for landscape maintenance services at the Branchbrook Park Concourse Hill Welcome Center and Park Administration Building, not to exceed $58,410. And the monthly amount of this contract is $2,433.75. Number 64 is a change order with Hudson Community Enterprises for security guard services over at the Turtleback Zoo. We're requesting an additional 20% added to their contract, which is additional $25,710. The original contract amount was $128,553. If the additional $25,710 is approved, that would bring the total of the contract to $154,263. Number 65 is authorization to use the Essex County Recreation Open Space Trust Fund for architectural consultant services for the Essex County Golf Course project improvements, amount not to exceed $285,000. Specifically, this is for the design scope for the improvements that are going to be underway over at Burn Golf Course in West Orange. Number 66 and number 67 are related. 66 is the funding source for 67. I will briefly go over 66, which is the authorization to use the Recreation Open Space Trust Fund not to exceed $325,711 for the Environmental Center roof replacement. And then Public Works will be on the line shortly to discuss the project in detail. I am happy to take any questions the Commissioner Board may have.
Mr. President, you're muted.
Yes, that was 66 and 67, correct?
No, Mr. President, that was
68 and 69, I'm sorry.
No, we're on 6.
He stopped at 66.
We stopped at 6.
Stopped at 67.
He
No,
didn't go through 67 yet. He just, he said 66 and 67 are related, and he would leave 67 for Public Works when they get on.
Okay, so they're not on, keep moving.
Mr. President, I have a question for one of these, for Mr. Zates.
Okay.
Josh, on 64, there was a contract increase. What necessitated that increase?
Joshua Zates, Essex County Parks. Through you, Mr. President, number 64, the reason for the 20% increase was we increased the number of hours that we'd be using Hudson, specifically to cover some holidays that we need to cover, John.
Thank you.
Mr. President, Commissioner.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Open Space Trust Fund held a meeting and we went over many of these that are on the agenda for tonight. I think it's important to note, because of what some of the callers had to say earlier this evening before we started, the money that goes to the Open Space Trust Fund comes directly from the taxpayers who voted to have the open space, who voted to have an open space trust fund, and then the county freeholders at the time established that fund. This is not coming from capital funds, because some of the people question, why are we spending money on open space projects and not giving to those facilities which are so much in need? This money is not designated in that direction. This money is designated strictly for open space, and there is a formula in terms of what this money can be spent on, and it doesn't go to capital improvements. And I think it's unfortunate that the people, the constituents, are not knowledgeable in terms of what they voted to do, because it's very, very important. Our parks are kept up to date, and we are in great shape. We're in great shape statewide in terms of our parks. People come from all over to see what we have. So I think that needs to be clearly understood of the great work we are doing in terms of the park system here in Essex County. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Sebo.
Mr. President, I believe I believe that you indicated that you wanted to take resolutions 59 through 66 together as one when the discussion is completed.
Correct. Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. Commissioners, any questions or comments? Hearing none, I have a motion from Commissioner Sebo and a second from Commissioner Vice President Pomaris to take resolutions 59 through 66 as one. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Yeah. Commissioner Cooper,
Yes.
Commissioner Gill, absent Commissioner Graham,
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Luciano, absent Commissioner Mercado,
Yes.
Commissioner Sebo,
Yes.
Commissioner Vice President Pomaris,
Yes.
Commissioner President Richardson.
Yes.
So moved.
Okay, Madam Clerk, let's move to resolution 67 through 69, which are from the Department of Public Works, and we will read them into the record at a later time. Mr. Jackson.
Mr. Antonio will handle these items, Mr. President.
Good evening. David Antonio, Department of Public Works. Item number 67 is a contract award to Frank Service Incorporated for the replacement of the roof at the Essex County Environmental Center in Roseland. This will be a 90-day agreement. It will not exceed $325,711. The firm submitted the lowest bid of the two that were received. And John Bregman of Frank Service Incorporated is on the phone with us, and he would like to have a few words, if you may. John, are you there, please?
Hello, yes, I am. My name is John Bregman. I work for Frank Service Inc., located in Pompton Lakes, New Jersey. We're a commercial roofing contractor. We've been in business for 30 years. We do work all over the state.
David Antonio, Department of Public.
Sorry.
David Antonio, Department of Public Works. Item number 68 is award of contract to Equity Environmental to perform NJDEP regulated environmental monitoring activities at the site where presently the Essex County Correctional Facility is sited. Equity Environmental submitted proposal was rated as the highest scoring of the 8 reviewed. This will be a 12-month contract and it will not exceed $89,300. Resolution number 69 is to consent to the Borough of Roseland's ordinance establishing a truck route for vehicles with a weight over 4 tons. Please note that the borough will be responsible for all costs associated with the placement and maintenance of any related signage. If there are any questions, I will gladly take them at this time. Thank you.
Mr. Polavecchio.
I don't have any questions, Mr.
Mr.
President.
McInerney.
No questions.
Commissioners, questions or comments?
Mr. President,
Commissioner Sebo.
thank you. I have a question about 67. How will that affect the environmental center? Will they have to be closed while the work is being done on the roof?
Through you, Mr. President, David Antonio, Department of Public Works. John, if you're still on the phone, I think it's a question that you may be able to answer as a contractor.
Yes, I'm still on the phone, and the environmental center will not have to be closed. We can work to coordinate which areas we'll be working on to try to keep any dirt or anything that might go inside the building in those areas, but the facility doesn't have to be closed.
And how long will it take for you to do this work? to complete this work?
I believe we have, it's probably going to take about 6 weeks total.
All right, thanks very much. I know that it needs it. Thank you. And thank you, David.
Okay. I'm sorry, did we do roll call?
No.
No, we did not. We need a motion and a second.
Need the motion, all right. Commissioners, I have a motion from Commissioner Vice President Pomaris and a second from Commissioner Sebo to take resolution 67 and 69 as one. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
And 68.
And
Mr. President.
67 through 69.
Okay. Commissioner Sebo,
Yes.
Commissioner Marcardo,
Yes.
Commissioner Luciano, absent. Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Graham,
Yes.
Commissioner Gill, absent. Commissioner Cooper,
Yes.
Commissioner Vice President Pomares,
Yes.
Commissioner President Richardson.
Yes.
So moved.
Okay, Madam Clerk, let's move to resolution 70 through 84, which are all accommodations and memorials and proclamation resolutions, and we'll read them into the record at a later time. Commissioners, any questions or comments? Hearing none, I have a motion from Commissioner Mercado and a second from Commissioner Johnson to take resolution 70 through 84 as one. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Sebo,
Yes.
Commissioner Mercado,
Yes.
Commissioner Luciano, absent. Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Graham,
Yes.
Commissioner Gill, absent. Commissioner Cooper,
Yes.
Commissioner Vice President Pomares,
Yes.
Commissioner President Richardson.
Yes.
So moved.
Okay, Madam Clerk, do we have any added starters?
Mr. President, we have none.
Let's move to the report of board committees. Commissioners, do we have any report of board committees? Legislative reports. Written communications. Unfinished business. Any new business? Okay. Okay, Madam Clerk, let's move to the public comment session on non-agenda items.
Okay. Yes, Mr. President. If you are calling in, you will be acknowledged to speak in the order that your call was received. Emails received for public comment will be read after calls are completed. At this time, our public information officer will announce the caller so they can state their comment or question, and be reminded that you have 3 minutes to speak. Please do not have your laptop or any electronic device on while calling in. And at this time, we're accepting calls only pertaining to non-agenda items. Shalom Malumba, our public information officer, please begin our public comment session now.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Chala Malumba, Public Information Officer for the Essex County Board of Commissioners. We have multiple callers waiting to speak. The first caller is Lisa Maddox Douglas. Ms. Douglas, you have 3 minutes to speak. Please state your name for the record. You may begin.
Good evening. My name is Lisa Maddox Douglas. I am the Public Employee Supervisors Union President, and we are joining in on the Commissioners Board meeting. Again, this is our second attempt to get our voices heard. I'm calling because we have issues with the work conditions and the hazardous work conditions that we work within at 320 and 321 University Avenue, respectively. I'm calling to invite, of course, the commissioners and to let you know that we're doing what we're doing in our agency and throughout the Division of Family Assistance and Benefits. We shall mourn the loss of our comrade peers who lost their lives to this ugly COVID-19 disease. We shall mourn until DFAB administration protects its employees from health and safety hazards. We shall mourn until DFAB administration understands that we matter. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your consideration, and we hope to get your support to make sure that we have all of our needs and our needs met and our concerns as it relates to health and safety concerns with DFAB administration. Thank you. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next caller is Jasmine Fortune. Ms. Fortune, you have 3 minutes to speak. Please state your name for the record. You may begin. Hello, Ms. Fortune, you may begin.
Madam Clerk, can we hang on a second? I think we're down 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 people went off at the same time. We lost the president and vice president at the same time, so we don't have a quorum right now.
And,
I'm here.
There you are. Okay, we're good.
And Charlo, you need to, end that call because it's yelling and noise.
Okay, our next caller is Liz. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. Makar. You have 3 minutes to speak. Please state your name for the record. You may begin.
Yes, hello. My name is here in the Forest Hill section of Newark with the gorgeous Branch Brook Park right outside our door. And what I'm calling about is airplane noise coming from Teterboro Airport. Starting probably end of October, beginning of November, just excessive noise. Before, I lived here for 5 years and I never heard a plane, never saw a plane. And then saying overnight, end of October, beginning of November, airplane noise, just nonstop. It's like a freeway going up on top, over our heads here. Monday alone, I counted 22 planes flying over my home in 1 hour. This affects the quality of life. It's going to affect property values. People are not going to want to, I mean, I live right by the Althea Gibson tennis courts, which is a fabulous area. Who's going to want to come play tennis with, with low-flying planes? And I don't know why this is happening. And, and it really needs, and I would like it to stop because it's, it's a quality of life, it's noise pollution. And I said it's going to start affecting property values. That's really all I got to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next caller is David Weiner. Mr. Weiner, you have 3 minutes to speak. Please state your name for the record. You may begin.
Thank you. Good evening again. First of all, to my friend, Commissioner Seabolt, I assure you that we made no mistake in terms of the funding. We understand it very completely. I've been in my position for 41 years and been watching this body for that long. So respectfully, we know what we're asking about, but thank you for your assertion. Well, I'm calling about the money for this Hudson Community Enterprises. You've awarded them another contract for security. We've seen that their people allow a male client to enter 321 University without wearing a face mask. And when they refused to wear one, he still was allowed to stay in there. And the guards that were employed by Hudson did nothing. Also, guards enter, walk around the building not wearing face masks, and they allow clients to enter buildings without wearing face masks. We filed grievances against the fact that the vice president of that organization was allowed by the guards to enter DFAB University unmasked, wearing his gun, not a face mask, and without having to submit to a security check. So we're just wondering what is going on. We found out just today, we've known for the past couple of days, that you're putting an 8-story building for the 22 judges right on our parking lot. Where are we supposed to park? There are like hundreds of spots in there, or at least 100. Where are these employees supposed to park when you start the construction? Where are they going to go? We don't have enough parking now. So we really asked the field to pay attention, and we asked the field to sorry, strike that, the commissioners, I'm going back in time. We asked the commissioners to pay attention, particularly the president, and that he hold a meeting with Lisa Maddox Douglas and I as soon as possible to go over the problems that welfare is facing using the Welfare to Work subcommittee of the commissioners. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Duly
Thank
noted.
you. Thank you. Our next caller is Ramesh Shah. Mr. Shah, you have 3 minutes to speak. Please state your name for the record. You may begin.
Yeah. Thank you, commissioners. My name is Ramesh Shah. I work for Essex County Division of Family Assistance and Benefits. My statement in question relates to resolution number 60 on tonight's agenda, which asserts that the county should award of a contract to a cost not to exceed $440,330 to GSP Property LLC to provide for maintenance and resolution of customized and engraved painted sign in various parks through Essex County for the Department of Parks, Recreation and Culture Affairs. My question I request the commissioner respond to is, how does this legislative body continue to allow the administration to award of a contract at a cost not to exceed $440,330 to GSP Property LLC to provide for maintenance and restoration of customized and engraved painted sign when the county has refused to compel the administration to demand quality service from the various vendors. The county allegedly spent $15 million to rehabilitate DFAB's University Avenue building, numerous floors such as its still antiquated and inefficient HVAC system. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. The next caller is Adrian Davis. Ms. Davis, you have 3 minutes to speak. Please state your name for the record. You may begin.
Hi, good evening, commissioners. My name is Adrian Davis, and I work for the Essex County Division of Family Assistance and Benefits. My statement in question relates to resolution number 67 on tonight's agenda, which asserts the Essex County Department of Public Works has determined that the winning bidding company vendor has met the requirements of the advertised specifications and is in the lowest responsible bidder to provide the roof replacement at the Essex County Environmental Center as per specifications. This contract shall not exceed $325,711. My question, I request the commissioner's response, is to how does this legislative body continue to approve a $325,000 contract with Frank Cyrus, Inc. to provide proof of the replacement of the Essex County Environmental Center's roof when no resolutions put forward by the administration of the Essex County to the commissioners seek to replace the hundreds of parking spaces DFAB will lose for its employees when the eight-story, 22-story court building is constructed. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next caller is Barbara Russo. Ms. Russo, you have 3 minutes to speak. Please state your name for the record. You may begin.
My name is Barbara Russo. I work for Essex County Division of Family Assistance and Benefits. My statement in question relates to resolution number 69 on tonight's agenda, which proposes to approve the Borough of Roseland seeking to post new signage regarding the truck weight restrictions due to complaints of truck traffic on a local residential street. It has come to the attention of both our unions that the county will build an 8-story building smack dab within DFAB surface parking lot and is now located wherein scores of vehicles owned by DFAB's employees, including the disabled, have been parking since we assigned to the county-owned 320-321 University Avenue Newark site in May 2020. Our surface parking lot will have a deep underground upon which the 8-story building will be erected to house 22 courtrooms, a cafeteria, etc. Every workday, scores of judges and their staffs, police vehicles, defendants, and their attorneys will be entering and leaving the building to be built directly across the street from DPAB's University Avenue structures. This will add both danger and further congestion to the corners of University Avenue and Brantford Place, wherein at least 6 pedestrian accidents have been reported and wherein DFAB employees now wait for up to an hour at the end of the workday to exit their assigned buildings' garages due to the heavy traffic. My question I request the commissioners respond to is how does this legislature continue to approve the Borough of Roseland seeking to post new signage regarding the truck weight restrictions due to complaints of truck traffic on a local residential street, while at the same time depriving DFAB employees of hundreds of parking spaces while exponentially worsening traffic within the University Avenue complex? We are the displaced DFAB employees supposed to park their vehicles when the construction of 8-story buildings begin. I mean, where are we supposed to park?
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Russo, still there? Okay, thank you. Our next speaker is Marie Glenn. Ms. Glenn, you have 3 minutes to speak. Please state your name for the record. You may begin.
Good evening. My name is Marie Glenn, and I work for DFAB. My statement in question relates to Resolution 65 on tonight's agenda, which asserts that at their January 20th, 2022 meeting, the Essex County Recreation and Open Space Trust Fund Advisory Board approved the allocation of Open Space Trust Fund money in the amount not to exceed $285,000 for golf course architecture consulting services for Essex County golf course renovation projects. My question I request the Commissioner's response to is how does this legislative body continue to allow the administration to spend $285,000 for golf course architecture consulting services for the Essex County golf course renovations project when there are no resolutions put forward by the administration of Essex County to the commissioners seeking to replace the hundreds of parking spaces DFAB will lose for its employees when the 8-story court building is constructed. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, we do not have any more callers waiting to speak.
Thank you. We do have a couple of public comments that were emailed for non-agenda items. The first is from Charlotte Gala, no address given. Dear good evening, good morning. When will there be a meeting of the Community Cats Committee? Have a perfect day. Mama Meow, AKA Cat Lady of New Jersey. P.S. Any data of community cats, TNVR, in the towns and cities of Essex County? Next is Zakia Stewart of Newark. Good afternoon. My name is Zakia Stewart. I'm a Newark resident and graduate student and part-time program development specialist for the Prenatal Health Equity Initiative, a Black woman-led grassroots organization dedicated to eliminating racial health disparities that impact Black moms and babies. Our question for the next county council meeting is, what is Essex County doing to address maternal and infant mortality among Black residents? Would you be willing to collaborate with the Prenatal Health Equity Initiative to provide free prenatal classes and breastfeeding support to the community? Thank you, Bess. Zakia Stewart. And Mr. President, that completes our comments for public comments received via email.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk, and to everyone who spoke or emailed their comments or questions in. They will be answered in a timely fashion via writing. We'll get those to you. Commissioner.
Mr. President, if I may. Mr. President, if I may.
Yes, Commissioner Jack, Mr. Jackson.
I didn't get promoted. I'm just the county administrator. I'm just. I just wanted to quickly address, Mr. President, members of the board, one of the issues that came out of the calls about the parking, the removal of parking as part of the project for the new courts building. Right across, and one of the problems we have, quite candidly, is the complete lack of just basic communication from, rather than simply asking the question, what's going to happen to the parking, and we can answer the question. The simple answer is that we're going to, right across the street from the existing parking lot. We already parked 245 members of the judiciary right across the street. We're going to be adding another 200 spaces, up to as many 200 extra spaces across the street that will replace, more than replace, the parking that's the 90 spaces that are at the University Avenue lot that we have. So the answer is quite simply, there's going to be more parking than we have even now to replace the parking. And we certainly would not have set out on this venture knowing how tight the parking is there, which is saying we're going to eliminate 100 spaces. And it's just sometimes when I'm listening, I'm just befuddled by the fact that just to ask a simple question, we can answer it. Doesn't require all that. But anyway, just so the board can feel comfortable that we've addressed this issue, and there's going to be more parking than there is even now. Substantially.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson, for that clarity. We appreciate it.
Mr. President?
Commissioner Cooper, are you
Thank
getting
you.
ready to assemble a CAT meeting?
Hold that thought, because
Okay.
that's one of my questions. I have a question for Mr. Jackson. Thank you so much for responding in reference to the parking issue. Question, you just said you're going to add an additional 200 plus spaces. Those additional spaces, will they equally accommodate all of the new bodies that are moving from the old court to the new court that you're building?
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, and more than we actually provide now for everybody. So it's an addition of parking.
So it sounds like you're like doubling, because you said it's 90 and now you're going to over 200. Thank you.
We're adding 200 extra spaces. Now, some of those, Commissioner, will be obviously for some of the people coming in from the from the judiciary, but we will have more than the 90 spaces for people from the 90 spaces from DFAT. Well, they'll have more spaces after than they have now.
I agree with you, Mr. Jackson. A simple memo or email from someone could absolutely have minimized the confusion and upset from the employees based upon the comments that we heard today. Thank you. Also, we are waiting for your office, Mr. Jackson, to get back to us on an outstanding issue related to the TNVR so that we can schedule the next meeting.
Okay.
With the
Mr. President, I will contact off.
With the it was the coalition group in Newark that does the, oh my God, I'm having a brain fart right now. That does the things for the CAT for us. Oh my God, I can't think.
Oh, the training of the trappers. Yes. Yes. I understood. Yes.
Thank you.
We'll get that too. Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
Okay. Commissioners, any other questions or comments or anything?
Mr. President, if I may?
Commissioner Vice President Pomares.
I didn't think this was appropriate to bring up under old business, but I thought it was appropriate to wish you a happy birthday. I'm sure my colleagues would like to say the same thing, so.
CP, appreciate it.
We
I
did
was
that
gonna
at the
say the same
beginning,
thing.
Carlos. Maybe you
Thanks,
weren't on.
everyone.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
President, I have a question.
Commissioner Sebo.
Yeah, Mr. Jackson, with the new building, will all the parking be across the street, or will the building itself have a garage?
The building itself will have some parking underneath for judges. I'm going to say about 30 or 40 spaces for, so that's in addition to the parking that I spoke about. So I didn't even include that in the number. So there will be about 30 or 40 parking spaces on site and the additional parking that we'll have across the street.
So there will be more than enough parking for everyone. Correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Commissioner, yes.
I think it's important that they all be notified that there will not be a problem in terms of parking.
Mr. President, Julius Coultry, Deputy Administrator. Currently, all the employees that work at the Willents building park in the existing parking lots there. So there's not going to be any difference. We're just adding additional spaces. So the current employees that will be in the new building will be parking where they're parking all the time, which is across the street, plus the additional spaces that we're adding.
Thanks, Jay. I think it's just important that they all know that.
Thank you so much.
Obviously, they're upset about it.
Commissioners, anything else? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it, so move. Have a good night. Take care. See
Have
you
a
later.
Happy birthday.
Good night.
Have a great birthday, Mr.
Thank you so
President.
much.
Happy
Thank you.
birthday, President. Everyone.
Enjoy your
safe.
birthday, Mr. Preston.
Thank you.